Hey everybody, this video will be all about creating your own textures and the 3D warehouse. One thing you'll hear me say a lot is that all of your architectural renderings should have big things, medium things, and small things in them. So looking at what's on my screen right now, okay, so we could we kind of have those three pieces in there already. So almost all three of them. So this wall might be considered a big thing. It's a big geometry in the image. Medium things might be all of these different mullions that make up this curtain wall. And small things might be something like the door handle on this door, or perhaps some plants that live in front of this wall. So usually, more often than not, you'll model the big things and the medium things. And the small things you might want to get from the 3D warehouse, which is this unbelievable resource that SketchUp has. So this is a photo studio. So some small things that you might want to go to the 3D warehouse to bring in here are like a camera on a tripod, different lighting elements, things like that. And I'll show you how to do that. So for example, like I don't want to spend a lot of time, say, modeling a camera. That'd be a waste of your time when you can actually just go to the 3D warehouse and download it. What you want to spend your time on is figuring spatially out how this thing should be designed, how it should look, and then you can bring in these decor elements to bring your models to life. So let's just say, for example, I wanted to put a camera and a tripod in here in this studio space that, say, I haven't finished quite yet, but I want to put that in here to start bringing it to life. So if you look up in my SketchUp here, you can see that I'm logged in. So I've logged in under my professional account, but I could sign out. This is basically where you log in. It'll just say sign in. If you don't have an account, you can create a Trimble SketchUp account, but I think most, if not all of you, already have that. Okay, and the reason I do that is because when I go to the 3D warehouse, which is this button, if you don't have it up there, you can always go to View Toolbars, and you could click on Warehouse right here. Mine's already up there. Actually, it's on the Getting Started tool set, which is the one I'm using, but if you curate the tools on your own, you can just click on Warehouse. So here it is right here. So I'm going to click on it. So it brings up almost like a web browser. Just go to the home page. And these are all the models in SketchUp. So I could search for something I want and see what pops up under my name over here. What's really nice is I have my content. So I could go here and I could look through different content that I've saved, different liked content. So what I've done here is liked some sort of dumbbells, which you clearly I use all the time. So I've liked this because I must have put it in a rendering at some point. So let's go and let's look for, let's go type in photography. Here. This is kind of interesting. It's a whole model with some light setups in there. Now I might download this model so that I can just grab this stuff and delete the rest because I don't want it. Let's see what else we got. Maybe if I put in photography, some cameras, and oh, this looks good. Home photography. Ooh, this one's kind of nice. This big, like, giant backdrop. Let's download that. So I'm just going to click this little button here. Now I can always click on the model. This is who modeled it. I can like the model, so I'll just give it a like right there so that it'll appear in my content so I can find this easier. Sometimes you find a model and then you can't find it again. It's really frustrating. So I'm going to click download. If you aren't logged in, it won't allow you to download directly into your SketchUp model. So I'll say yes. Look at that. So now we have that right in here. I'm just going to place it over here. It's obviously not where I want it, so I'm just gonna rotate it 90 degrees. Then I'm gonna try to move it, get it sort of in my studio. So it's a little big, but that's fine because I can rescale it using the scale tool. I'll just say 0.9. Need it a little smaller. And move it, center it. There we go. So there, I have a nice cool backdrop in a, oops, sorry, I'm kind of stuck in the model there. Put that in there as like sort of decor. Now, one thing you'll notice is that all the materials associated with that model that I brought in are loaded into my project now. So, I still need to add a floor and things like that, but the easel, or not easel, but rather the like tripod in this case that's holding up this backdrop, that would be a good example of something that's small in your model. So you want geometry that's big, medium, and small. This definitely works for small. Look at the gear up there at the top. That's a really nice way to sort of bring your imagery to life. So I'll just leave that in there, but 3D Warehouse, you can find anything in here. Look up the weirdest, okay, Star Wars. Don't look up stuff too weird, but Star Wars, let's see. Okay, X-Wing. Gotta get the X-Wing in there. Looks like Anakin, R2. You get the idea. Death Star. Let's see if someone's modeled that up. Oh God, guaranteed. Ooh, that one looks kind of cool there. Let's look at that one. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'll save that. You get the idea. So good resource for you. Use this, use this, use this. Okay. So that's where I'll stop on 3D Warehouse. Now let's move to custom materials. So I want to show you this website. Here we go. So this is a great website, sketchuptextureclub.com. You can look up there for the URL. If I were you, I would create an account and become a club member. This is a giant resource of textures that will work for SketchUp models, and it'll map nicely, and most, if not all of them, are seamless. So that means you won't have any weirdness in the texture as it tiles on some sort of surface. And you'll see I'll do that for you on this video. So let's say for our model that I want to make this a brick structure out here. Maybe I just want the outside to be brick and maybe the window openings, but the inside, it'll be a different material. So let's make a new material. So over here in my default tray, I'm going to close all these little arrows here. And I'm going to go to and just open the materials one. When I hit the home tab, this tells me every material that's currently in the model that I'm working on. Okay. But now I want to make a new one. So what I'm going to do is go to create material right here. And it says, all right, create material. Here's our box. I'm going to give it a name, brick exterior. Okay. Now I could play around with some color and things like that, or I could put in a texture image. So I could say my brick is reddish orange or something like that. I could make a color in here that's sort of reddish orange, but of course it looks nothing like brick, but it might be a good placeholder. So I hit OK, there it is, right? Now when I go into this group, I'm going to go into there and I'll just paint bucket where I want the brick to go. Now you don't have to do this color method at all first. I'm just doing it just to show you that you can make materials that are just colors too. But we'll change this material. So I kind of went in and got the sides of that opening, and I'll get the sides of this opening. Okay, so I'm going to grab that material and I'm going to click edit. So here's that same. So here's that material. I'm going to click edit. Okay, now I can change that material however I see fit, or I can apply a texture image. But we need to go find a texture image. So I am going to go to SketchUp Texture Club, and you can click right here on textures. See what happens. And I'll go, like what I like to do is just scroll down to textures to this little navigation tree here and go to architecture and go to bricks. And you can just click on bricks if you want, and you can kind of see something come up. Special bricks. Ooh, that one looks kind of cool. Let's get that. So I'm going to go in special bricks. See what I can find here. See anything that catches your eye? Not quite yet. I want to do. Is it this one? That one looks pretty good. Ooh, it was this one. Let's do this. So I clicked on that one. Now, because I'm logged in, I can download. I can download this one. Now you can download more high res ones, but honestly, this is perfectly fine for our purposes in most, if not all, of the renderings I ever do. I never need something that's like gigantic in pixel size. So I'm going to go to download, and then this will prompt me to save it to my desktop, or you can save it wherever you want. Here we go. I'm going to go to desktop, and I'll go to fall 2020 digital architectural rendering. We're in week 2, and I'm just going to call this one brick. Give me some long name that's not useful. Comes in as a compressed zipped folder, and I'm just going to hit save. Now I'm going to go to that folder. There we go. Wrong class. Here it is, brick in a compressed folder. I'm going to right click and extract it. Extract all. And then if I just go in there again, you'll see we have our zipped folder and then a regular folder with the image in it. I'm going to grab the zip folder and just delete it. That's usually what I do. I still have the extracted folder with the image right there. So that's what I need. So I'm going to close this, go back to SketchUp. I'm going to edit this material, and I'm going to click right here and say use texture image. It's going to prompt me to navigate to the image I just downloaded. There we go. And now that is using the brick there. Okay. Now this looks way too tiny, right? That looks a little goofy. It's even going in on the return there where I want it, but it's too small. So we can manipulate the size right here. So instead of 1 foot for the horizontal, I'm going to put 2 foot. And this is locked, the proportion. So I only have to change the top one. So that got a little bigger, but I'm going to double up here. I'm going to go 4 foot. That's looking better. So I'm getting a much better kind of layout there. Now this image is okay. I'm still seeing, you see how it's like darker here than lighter. So you might want to play around with other textures to see if you can get a better one that doesn't have a gradient in there like that. But that's not bad. Let's do 6 feet. That actually looks pretty good. That's like a nice. So right now it's 6 feet. I got a nice return on the windows. Now, if I want, I could, let's look at just this element. So I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to go up to edit or view, component edit, hide rest of model. What that does is every time I go into some component, it'll hide everything else. So I'm going to go in here and you can see, yeah, that brick's returning into the space. Now, what's a little goofy is you'll see that brick on the inside, which actually wouldn't be the case. After the frame, you would see something else like drywall. But you would, in order to do that, you would have to sort of put a line in here so you can differentiate the inside material to the outside material. So this looks pretty good. I mean, I'm happy with this, and I might want to put a different material on the inside, which I could do. So SketchUp Texture Club is a wonderful resource. There's lots of stuff. They add to it all the time. go ahead and play with this. Good stuff for like concrete. For this portion of the assignment, we really want to get as much texture and interesting stuff in on your projects as possible. I just saw this dirty walls one. Let's put a dirty wall in. Dirty concrete texture. That looks cool. Look at this. All right, I'm going to download this one. We'll do the entire inside of the studio as this dirty concrete. I'll save it here as concrete. Go ahead, show in folder, extract all. Okay, delete that one. Okay, go to SketchUp. Now I'll just make one from scratch here. So I'm going to go to the new. Usually I just go, if you want to get back to the SketchUp default material, just hit this button right here. So right now I'm on brick. I'm going to click that, back to the default material. Then I'm going to click new, and I'll put in concrete. And I'll go to use texture image, navigate to that concrete image. Oh, I got a couple of them. Heck yeah, I'll do this one. Hit open, hit OK. Now let's go in this model, and let's just boom. Obviously, these are too small right now, but that's okay. Or this is too small right now. And let's change the size of this to like 15 feet. Look at that. That looks pretty cool. And believable. That looks really nice. Okay, so we got a brick outside with this like basement dirty concrete inside. Great place to take photos. So that should get you started on textures. So 3D warehouse and textures. All right, guys, that is enough for this week. I hope this moves you and your project along.